Clay and his wife Leslie are here. Harris Rawson, I know Harris was in here, who owns the hotel. I think he may have walked out, but anyway, a great fella. And Al and Beverly Austin, where are y'all? Yep, there you are. Thank y'all. God bless you. And Carol Jean Jordan. To your right. There you are, back over against the wall. Miss Carol Jean, thank you for being here. God bless you. And Andy Gardner, where Andy's in the back, all the way in the back, holding up the back porch back there. So, Andy, thank you. Listen, I just want to say how important Florida is. I wouldn't be here today. My wife wouldn't have been here last week. We wouldn't have been back in here last week if we didn't know how important Florida is. Douglas, the fact of the matter is, how Florida goes is how this country is going to go. We know that. And this P5 is really important. So your organization, your help on that is very, very important. At CPAC today and at other places you're going to hear me talk over the course of the next 24 hours, I'm going to really hammer home something that's important to us. And Emily, it is that we have to have a nominee in this country for the Republicans that draws a bright line between themselves and Barack Obama. And Ronald Reagan said it right. I think it was in his 1984 acceptance speech. And he talked about that now is the time for bright and bold colors, not these pastels. So I hope that's not lost on anybody what I'm talking about. We can't be nominating someone that is going to blur the differences between ourselves and our party, and Barack Obama. And I'm making direct inference to health care. And what Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts, and having that clear connection between Romney Care and Obamacare. I mean, you get up and say, I didn't mean it, I'll get rid of Obamacare, but the fact of the matter is we have a clear roadmap that the Obama administration used to put this health care into place. And it is problematic for us and for this country. We need someone that's going to be the President of the United States that knows what they believe every day. That's right. I don't have that problem. You look at my record as the governor of Texas, and I've taken my lumps from time to time. But let me tell you, when it comes to whether it's standing up for the social issues that's important, whether it's being a pro-life governor and unapologetic about it, whether it's been about having taxes and regulations that allow the private sector to flourish, that's what I'm all about. We got a great blueprint in the state of Texas, what we've done over the last decade to get this country moving forward again. And that's what we have to have. All of these, we're going to ask 1,000 questions 100 different ways, I would bet, and only have a minute to answer them. But the fact is this. It's all about the economy. Douglas, you asked me what I was going to do about China. It's all about the economy. If we don't have our small businessmen and women, for that matter, our big businessmen and women, freed up from over-regulation, over-taxation to do what they do best, which is to create jobs, which in turn create wealth, we can't have a foreign policy. Nobody's going to worry about America because we're not going to be strong enough to have a military or strong enough to have an economic impact on them. That's the facts. And this country is on the precipice. We got tens of millions of people out of work today that don't have the dignity of a job. Because we got an administration that's been conducting an experiment on America for the last 2.5 years, and it has failed miserably. We can't afford 4 more years of high unemployment, massive debt. Doug and Emily, they're the ones that are going to inherit this debt. I know how to dig us out of this. And you do it by empowering small businessmen and women. You create. Government does not create jobs. I want to go on the record there. private sector creates jobs. What government can do is one of two things. They can either be an impediment out to that job creation, or they can free up small businessmen and women, free up the private sector to do what the private sector has historically done in this country, and that is create the jobs that in turn create the wealth. You need to lower the tax burden, lower the regulatory climate, have the tort reform in place that keeps the lawsuits to a minimum, and then get out of the way, government, and let the private sector do what the private sector does best. It's one of the reasons I'm so excited about having Republican governors elected all across this country, because they by and large get it. They understand that they're going to compete against each other. I said last night in the debate, Rick Scott is sitting over there every day figuring out how to make Florida be more competitive so he can go over and knock on the door of some business and say, hey, y'all come to Florida. We got great weather during the winter, and we have all these other amenities, and you can keep more of what you work hard for. And on the other side, you're going to have a governor somewhere else, Susana Martinez over in New Mexico, that's passing tort reform, or Mary Fallon up in Oklahoma, or Nikki Haley up here in South Carolina, who are making their business climate be more competitive, which in turn puts pressure on the rest of us. That's how you become stronger. We talked about that competition. That's how America becomes stronger. We loose is a better word, the entrepreneurial spirit of the businessmen and women in this country. That's simply what's worked for a decade in the state of Texas, and that's what I want to do for our country. So I want to say thank you for being here. How are we on time?
You have a live interview in 10 minutes. So
8 minutes?
So you're going to shake some hands on the way after time.
More slow.